Stop eating these 7 worst fruits. They really will quietly destroy your body, especially for the elderly friends. Let's talk about something heartbreaking today. You think you are keeping healthy, but in fact, you are slowly destroying your body. What? Can eating fruit cause problems? You may be thinking in your heart, impossible. Aren't fruits all natural? They are high in vitamins and fiber, and doctors say that eating more is good. I tell you, this perception is ridiculously wrong, especially for us older people. Over 50 years old, our bodies are no longer as resistant as before, with slow metabolism, weak stomach, and blood sugar, blood pressure, and blood lipids are all more sensitive than when we were young. What's the result? Some fruits look fresh and tender, sweet and charming, and they are indeed delicious in the mouth. But for the body, that is a silent disaster. Are you like this too? When you get up in the morning, you eat a banana for breakfast, or cut a watermelon for a midnight snack, and you think, well, this is healthy. In fact, your blood sugar may have quietly soared. Your stomach can't stand it, and moisture is quietly gathering in your body. Sometimes you can't sleep well, have backaches, or even suddenly get worse in the 3 highs. You still think it's because of your age, and you don't suspect that fruit is the black hand behind it. Many of my friends are like this. An old man eats 2 bananas every morning, but he suffers from acid reflux and stomach pain and can't eat. There is also an aunt who loves to eat mangosteen and persimmons. She eats them endlessly in autumn and finally grows persimmon stones in her stomach. When the hospital took them out, they were almost as big as a fist. So in today's video, let's talk about it clearly. Fruits are not the more the better, not suitable for everyone, and not you should eat more when you are old. Wrong. There are 7 kinds of fruits that are especially harmful to the elderly. If you eat the wrong ones, your body will suffer. Don't believe me? Listen to me slowly. After listening, you will know that we are not stopping you from eating, but we want you to eat right, eat safely, and eat comfortably, so that your good body will not be quietly dragged down by these 7 invisible killers. Why fruits can also hurt the body. The biggest misunderstanding of ordinary people. You may still want to ask, how can fruits harm the body? Aren't they all naturally grown? They are not processed foods like instant noodles, canned food, and hand sausage. This is where many people suffer. They think natural must be safe, and they think green must be healthy. But our ancestors have long said a sentence, medicine is 3-point poison, right? The same is true for food. If you eat it wrong, supplements can become harmful. Drinking too much water can kill people, let alone fruits. Where exactly does fruit harm? The most obvious is blood sugar, especially for those of us who are over 50 years old. Blood sugar metabolism is no longer as fast as that of young people. Young people eat a pound of grapes, turn around and go running or playing ball, and the calories are consumed. What about us? After eating, sit on the sofa and watch TV, all the sugar is piled up in the stomach, and blood sugar rises all of a sudden. People with 3 highs are more dangerous. Then there is the spleen and stomach. Young people have strong stomachs, and they can handle fruits that are a little cold, a little cool, and a little hard. What about us when we are older? Less stomach acid, poor gastric motility, eating cold fruits, immediately bloating, diarrhea, stomach pain. Old stomach problems will occur all of a sudden. Another point that is most easily overlooked is dampness. Especially for Southerners, the body is heavy with dampness. Eating too many cold fruits will make the dampness even heavier. The whole person will be listless, weak in the limbs, sore bones, sleep poorly at night, and unable to get up in the morning. Doctors say 1,000 colds are easy to remove, but 1 dampness is difficult to remove. But many people just don't take it seriously, stuffing watermelons, mangosteens, and pears into their mouths every day. The more they eat, the more dampness they get, and finally, they have a lot of problems, not to mention uric acid. Eating too many fruits like lychees and persimmons will directly increase uric acid. Gout and arthritis will follow, and you will be unable to move and feel excruciating pain. My neighbor, Lao Wang, loved to eat likies when he was young. He still craved them after retirement. As a result, he suffered from gout in his 50s, and his toes swelled like pig's trotters. He went to the hospital for 3 months and spent tens of thousands of dollars. In the end, the doctor said, if you had eaten less likies when you were young, this would not have happened at all. So don't believe in the old idea that you don't have to worry about eating too much fruit. The elderly, especially those with 3 highs, cold stomach, weak body, and gout, are more particular about eating fruits than young people. They have to choose and eat less, and they have to eat according to the season, physical condition, and occasion. Let me say something heartbreaking. Many fruits are sold beautifully outside, but in fact they are ripened with ripening agents and preservatives, and have high pesticide residues. My old bones can't stand it. Young people have good livers and kidneys and fast metabolism. What about us? We have slow metabolism, and toxins accumulate in the body, slowly affecting the liver, kidneys, and heart. If there is a problem, it is difficult to treat and recover. What do you think? Is it worth it? In the final analysis, it is not that you cannot eat fruits, but you have to eat them selectively, eat less, and eat them in the right way. Not all of them are good, and the more you eat, the healthier you are. Especially for those 7 kinds. I will explain them to you slowly later. I guarantee that you will understand after I finish why some fruits should really be eaten less or even not eaten. Friends, I have said so much just now, you must be anxious. Which 7 kinds of fruits are we supposed to pay attention to, eat less, or even better not eat? Are there only a few of them lying in your refrigerator? Are you still chewing them in your mouth every day? Don't panic, let's take it slowly, break them down one by one, and explain them thoroughly and clearly. 1. Durian. It is delicious, but it is really too much. Let's talk about durian first. I tell you, I really love and fear this fruit. It is really delicious, soft and fragrant, especially for northerners. Eating it is so satisfying. But durian is the hottest of the hot. It is too hot. People with hot body, getting angry, high blood lipid, diabetes, 3 highs, all will be affected after eating. Lao Liutu from our community went to Hainan for a trip last summer and brought back 2 big durians. Thinking of good things, I have to replenish them. One night, I couldn't help it and finish half of it in one breath. When I got up the next morning, I had big blisters in my mouth, my throat was smoking, my blood pressure was high, I was flustered and dizzy, and I couldn't sleep at night. I went to the hospital for a checkup. Blood lipids and blood sugar were all soaring. The doctor said, "Uncle, you can't touch this thing with your body." It's a pity that I suffered in vain. When I get older, my young energy gradually declines, and my body is weak. It's not suitable for eating such hot things. Occasionally, a small piece is enough to satisfy my cravings, but eating a whole piece is really deadly. Especially for people with 3 highs, be very careful. 2. Mangosteen looks refreshing, but it's actually very cold. Let's talk about mangosteen. Southerners like it, and northerners also think it's rare. Purple shell and white meat, sweet and sour, comfortable to eat. But do you know? Mangosteen is very cold. People with weak spleen and stomach, people with yang deficiency, and people with cold hands and feet. Eating this thing is really pouring cold water on the body. My neighbor aunt bought a bunch of mangosteen in winter, saying that it can clear heat, but after eating it for a long time, she felt uncomfortable in her stomach, had diarrhea, stomachache, and couldn't eat for several days. She was also wondering, why does fruit also cause diarrhea? Later, the doctor checked and said that the spleen and stomach are cold, and mangosteen is very cold. So, how can you eat this thing, especially the elderly, whose spleen and stomach are weak? Eating too many cold fruits will increase dampness and coldness, and joint pain, back pain, and mangosteen. Don't be greedy. 1 or 2 is okay, but if you eat 10 or 8, you will definitely have problems. 3. Persimmon. How many people have been cheated by the sweetness of autumn? Speaking of persimmons, too many middle-aged and elderly people have been fooled. When autumn comes, the trees are red and the supermarkets are piled up like mountains, and many people buy a lot. Sweet, soft, and moist, especially the right persimmons. Take a bite, the core is flowing, that fragrance. Who can resist? However, persimmons are the most harmful to the stomach. Especially eating on an empty stomach is simply a joke to the stomach. The tannic acid and pectin in it can condense into gastric stones under the action of gastric acid, which can cause bloating at the mildest and gastric stones at the worst. Last fall, Mr. Jean from our village ate 5 large persimmons in one go, and his stomach was bloated and he couldn't bend his waist. He went to the hospital for a checkup. There was an egg-sized persimmon stone in his stomach, and it was finally removed by surgery, and he suffered for more than a month. In addition, persimmons are very cold, and those with cold stomachs and weak spleen and stomach will have diarrhea after eating them. Many elderly people have poor gastrointestinal function and will get sick after eating them. Doctors have repeatedly reminded us to eat less persimmons, especially on an empty stomach. 4. Watermelon, cool down in summer. That's what young people do. Speaking of watermelon, who doesn't want to have a piece in summer? Iced watermelon is cool and refreshing, so refreshing. But after the fun, the body started to suffer. Watermelon is cold, and it is cold all the way. People with weak spleen and stomach will feel cold in their stomachs after eating watermelon. Diarrhea, abdominal pain, bloating, and loose stools are inevitable, especially for the elderly, whose spleen and stomach are weak. This coldness will make their waists and legs weak. A few years ago, my uncle loved to drink ice watermelon juice in the summer. It was refreshing after drinking it, but he ran to the toilet 5 or 6 times at night, and his legs were weak. Later, he went directly to the infusion. The doctor said that eating watermelon is simply self-harm for old cold stomach. Moreover, watermelon has high sugar content, which can easily cause blood sugar to soar. If diabetics eat too much, their blood sugar cannot be lowered afterwards. Especially eating watermelon before going to bed will cause frequent waking up at night, which seriously affects sleep and makes the whole person feel listless the next day. 5. Grapes looks like health care, but is actually a sweet trap. How many people say that grapes replenish qi and blood and good nutrition? Unfortunately, the sugar content is too high, especially large grapes, seedless grapes, and imported grapes, which have an extremely high sugar content. If you eat too much, your blood sugar will soar, which is especially dangerous for diabetics. My neighbor Lao Wang was caught. He loves to eat grapes. Every time he buys a bunch, he eats them all while watching TV. As a result, his blood sugar is so high that his insulin can hardly control it. The doctor warned, don't eat it, especially these sweet grapes. A bunch of diabetics needs to eat 2 bowls of rice. Moreover, the grape skin is astringent, and people with poor stomachs can't digest it. Eating too much will cause diarrhea and bloating. The elderly have reduced digestive function, and eating too many grapes will make their stomach sing, which is very painful. 6. Bananas soft. How can they hurt people? You may not believe it, but bananas are also on the list. Yes, bananas are high in sugar and have a high glycemic index. Especially ripe bananas are sweet and greasy, and eating them will make blood sugar soar. Moreover, bananas are cold in nature, which can easily cause diarrhea in people with weak spleen and stomach. My friend's mother ate 2 bananas a day, and as a result, she had stomach acid, heartburn, acid reflux, and bloating, and she couldn't sleep well at night. The most terrible thing is that people with low blood pressure eat bananas. Blood pressure is already low, and bananas contain potassium. Eating too much will make it even lower. Dizziness, fatigue, and inability to stand, so you really need to pay attention. 7. Lychee, the most dangerous sweet killer. Lychee is the king of southern fruits, sweet and fragrant. Who can resist it? But this thing is really a sweet trap. Eating too many likies will cause blood sugar to rise rapidly and then drop rapidly, resulting in hypoglycemia, dizziness, fatigue, hand tremors, sweating, and fainting in severe cases. Children and the elderly are especially weak and are most susceptible to it. At Wang's grandson in our village ate dozens of likies because of greed and fainted due to low blood sugar at night. The whole family was scared to send him to the hospital in the middle of the night, and he recovered after glucose injection. The doctor said that this is lychee disease. It is common in southern hospitals. Moreover, likies are hot in nature, and eating too much can easily cause internal heat, sore throat, and swollen gums, especially for the elderly, who have a strong temper and liver fire, and will get internal heat as soon as they eat. Friends, do you understand? To put it bluntly, these 7 kinds of fruits are gentle killers in the guise of health, especially for the elderly. They simply attack their weak spots. It's not that they are poisonous, but that if you eat them wrong, eat too much, or eat them inappropriately, it will be a disaster. It's okay for young people, but when we get old, our bodies are poor, our qi and blood are deficient, our spleen and stomach are weak, and our intestines are slow. No matter how good the fruit is, we can't bear to eat it randomly. Keep healthy, don't eat the wrong way and get sick. Friends, when you hear this, do you start to wonder, oh, I can't eat this, and that doesn't taste good. Then what should I eat? Can't I even touch fruits when I'm old, alas? To be honest, this is not what I mean. Fruits are not poisons. The key is whether they are suitable for you, whether you eat them right, and whether you eat them at the right time. Asterisk asterisk. When you are young, your intestines are good and your metabolism is fast. You can eat cold, hot, sour, or sweet food. After a few bowel movements and a nap, you will be full of energy the next day. But when people get older, from 50 to over, their bodies are like machines, old, parts slow down, and repairability is poor. If you eat the wrong thing at this time, how can it be easily fixed? Take watermelon, for example. It's okay for young people to eat half a watermelon in summer. Once you sweat and run, the water will be excreted. When we are old, our blood vessels are hardened, and our kidney function is slow. The water can't be excreted, and it accumulates in the body. Edema, blood pressure rises, frequent urination at night, and restless sleep. Do you think it's uncomfortable? So these 7 kinds of fruits are not meant to be not touched by water. But, asterisk asterisk, don't be greedy. Don't eat them as meals, don't eat them on an empty stomach, and don't eat a lot at once. Asterisk asterisk, when we are old, we have to take it easy on everything. Eat until you are 70% full, drink light tea, and the same goes for fruits. It's okay to eat 1 or 2 bites occasionally to satisfy your cravings. But if you really eat them as meals, every day, every meal, and eat until you reach the limit, that's not health preservation. It's chronic torture. The most frightening thing is the mentality of others are fine eating it, so I can eat it too. The neighbor's grandson is fine eating 5 likies. But what about you? He may panic after eating 1. The young colleague can eat a whole bunch of grapes. But your blood sugar will soar after eating 3. There is a big age difference. And the health is also different. You can't compare. So, how should the elderly eat fruit? How to eat it to maintain health, comfort, and safety? It's very simple. Let's remember 4 words: less, proper, warm, and match. Less, eat no more than a small bowl at a time, and don't take fruit as a staple food. Eat a moderate amount after a meal, so that there is a bottom in the stomach. It is well absorbed, and it doesn't hurt the stomach. Proper, eat seasonal and local fruits. Don't be superstitious about imported and rare ones. Watermelon is in summer, apples are in autumn, oranges are in winter, and strawberries are eaten in spring. Seasonal ones are the safest, nutritious, and don't torment the stomach. Warm, don't eat cold ones. This is the most important point. Many elderly people think that it is good to eat frozen fruits in summer, but they are wrong. Cold fruit is the most harmful to the stomach. When the cold hits, the stomach shrinks, digestion is damaged, and moisture enters. Eating fruit at room temperature or slightly heating it can nourish the stomach. Pairing eating fruit with other foods, such as half an hour after a meal or with yogurt, can reduce blood sugar fluctuations and protect the stomach. My aunt used to eat apples on an empty stomach every day, but she got a stomach problem. She changed to eating apples after meals and eating less, and her stomach got much better. The old man next door used to eat cold watermelon in summer, but later changed to drinking warm apple soup. He felt more energetic and his moisture was also reduced. Really, this little change can save you from a lot of diseases. Speaking of this, friends, do you think, alas, I didn't care too much before? That's right. We Chinese always think that eating fruit is good, but in fact, the elderly are more particular about eating fruit than eating. Fruit is a good thing, but it must be done right by the body, at the right time, and in the right way. When you get old, your body is like an old machine. You need to maintain it and be delicate. You can't be rough or willful. When you are young, you eat whatever you want, and you will have diarrhea for 2 days at most. When you are old, it may take half a month to recover. Just like the neighbor aunt often said, when you are old, you eat not for your mouth, but for your stomach, so that your old bones can hold up. When you are in poor health, you spend more money and suffer more. Is it worth it? Not worth it. Think about it. Is this the truth? You can eat fruits, but you have to eat them slowly. Don't be greedy. Don't blindly believe. And don't eat them just because others can eat them. Health preservation is not about quantity, but about appropriateness. Don't let fruits ruin the body you want to maintain. It's a pity. Friends, after listening to me talk so much, do you remember the pitfalls you have encountered when eating fruits? Is it the time when you ate too much watermelon and had diarrhea all night? Is it the time when you couldn't hold back the persimmons and had a stomachache for 3 days? Come, leave a message in the comment area. Let's chat together and see who has stepped on the biggest pit. Maybe you can remind others and save a life. Do you like today's video that is speaking the truth and tailored for the elderly? Like it, follow it, and I will tell you next time the 3 anti-aging breakfasts that the elderly should stick to. They are delicious, inexpensive, and healthy. Remember to watch it.